Butterfield Color Delaminator is a water-based, biodegradable, user-friendly coating remover. It is effective for lifting a variety of paints and coatings from concrete, metal, masonry, and stone. It is a low-odor stripper that will remove acrylic, urethane, and latex coatings. Delaminator is particularly useful when mechanical coating removal is ineffective or prohibitive. Delaminator is non-flammable and is safe for indoor or outdoor use.
Today we're going to be using the Delaminator. We came to this job site and realized that the particular sealer that's on there has been on there for several years and is flaking off inconsistently. And from analysis and trying some different methods, we decided to remove this sealer. So we're going to be using the Delaminator and brushing it on shortly. Right now we're protecting the grass area and we're taping off some of the other areas, and we will be applying the Delaminator product. Take a look right here that you can see some areas where the sealer has been removed and other areas where it's flaking. It is in the best interest in most of these applications to go ahead and remove the sealer altogether. You can spend twice the time on trying to fix it. In most cases, it's better just to remove it and start fresh. So the first thing we're going to do after we've prepped the job site and protected the grass and the vegetation surrounding the Delaminator, we're going to go ahead and mix the Delaminator. Keep in mind that it is a biodegradable product. However, it does have a tendency to brown the grass when excessive amounts sit on the grassy area during the washing procedure, as well as the vegetation. It can damage some of the vegetation as well. So it's important to protect that vegetation. I'm just going to remove this 5-gallon bucket lid, and we'll go ahead and mix it. It is a water-based product, so you do not want to allow the Delaminator to freeze. It's available in 5-gallon units and 1-gallon units, and you get approximately 60 to 100 square feet per gallon. Make sure to use the proper safety equipment. When we're washing, we'll go ahead and be using rubber boots. I have gloves on right now. Probably want to use safety goggles as well. I recommend mixing the Delaminator with a drill and a paddle, a minimum to 1 to 3 minutes.
Mix material with a powered drill at low speeds until it is uniform color and consistency. Hand mixing is not recommended.
It's important to wash your equipment immediately following the use of Delaminator or using it such as the mixing drill or the mixing wand. We're going to put it in some water and clean it. Delaminator can be applied either by an airless sprayer, a soft bristle brush, or a roller. Be sure that they're chemical resistant and always test the equipment that you're using prior to using it on the job site. In this application, we're only talking about around 250 square feet, so we should be able to cover it with one 5-gallon unit or less of the Delaminator product. We're going to go ahead and start rolling this. If in fact you are using an airless sprayer, you want to use an orifice of 0.018 on that sprayer, and you want to apply, regardless of the equipment that you're using, a nice even coat of material. This is a 3/4 inch nap roller, and the reason we're using this is so that we put enough material down and so that it is getting into the joints in the textured area. You want to make sure that you apply ample material. If it's too thin, it will dry out too quickly. When you're applying Delaminator, be sure that the ambient and surface temperatures are between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So you want to keep an eye on it. So today it's about an 85-degree day. We just finished about 10 minutes ago applying the Delaminator. We stopped at this area down here and it's already started to do its magic. If you take a look here, the darker areas that are here are actually where the sealer has delaminated from the material. See this? I'm kind of pulling up the existing sealer and the residue. The areas where it's still white are areas where the sealer still exists. And it's starting to dry itself out. So what we're doing is we're applying some additional Delaminator on top so that it doesn't dry out, because it needs about 45 minutes to an hour dwell time to work effectively. Okay, so we started with a test area. We ran the floor machine first, and then we used this power washer to remove the coating. It looks as though we have the majority of the coating off. There's still a couple of areas in here, and we'll do a final wash in a couple of minutes. It's not completely necessary to use the floor machine with the grit brush, but it has helped us loosen the material just prior to pressure washing. You don't want to work too far ahead of yourself when doing so. Try to protect all adjacent areas, and keep in mind that I am walking back into the material. The reason I'm doing that is I don't want to completely wet this material, because then it will dilute the effectiveness and dilute the material that's on there, delaminating the coating currently. So I'll walk backwards into it, and then I'll just continue to wash this material off. As you can see, we removed the initial layer of the delaminator by using first the grit brush and then following up with the power washer. Next thing we want to do is lightly neutralize the slab. There is a low concentrated acid in the delaminator, so what I'd like to do is do a light neutralization. We've flooded the surface with water. Its pH level is probably where it needs to be. However, I still like to do this and do a final rinse. So I'm going to take a box of baking soda, add it to 5 gallons of water. We're going to mix it around, put it on the surface, wash it back off. So the surface is still wet. All I'm going to do is neutralize the surface by putting a neutralizer solution on it. I really don't need to work it into the pores. I can use a brush to do it. Within this application, there's a good slope, so I'm just going to pour it on it to make sure that it's neutralizing the concrete. Then we'll go over it with water one last time.